Right, good evening everyone. So far in the 3 sessions just we have discussed as it was titled itself like the golden rules. So right, so far we have learned many things with regard to in what way can we make passive sentences, right? To make passive sentences in a to make passive sentences we have to understand the primary rules, and then next there are some additional rules. So what are those additional rules also has to be understood. So these all things are very important. So that is what we have discussed in the earlier parts till today. Okay, in the 3 live sessions we have discussed. So this is the final live session, regarding this topic, because by the end of this class definitely we will be covered all the grammatical rules while making a passive sentence. Okay, clear everyone? Right, let's see. Just I'll let you know all the rules just before going to start about it. Right, see there. First let me give explanation. Okay, so to make passives, see that to make passives, firstly find subject, verb, object, and in the verb place, okay, do we have which form of the verb? And in the object place, see there I wrote it is direct object, indirect object, gerund, noun class. In the object place, do we have direct object or indirect object or gerund or noun class? Because it is based on the object. Based on the object we need to make the passive sentence in a different way. So that is what we have to understand, whether the object, okay, is it a direct object or indirect object, or it's a gerund or a noun class. So what's a noun class means, again already we have discussed in the earlier part. And so that is the first thing. And second thing, what is the second thing? Secondly, rearrangements of the subject verb agreement, right? First we have to use the object, and secondly principle of replacement. So regarding principle of replacement, you people have a table, right? And the past participle form of the verb, suitable preposition, and sentence has to be ended by subject. So then next, so these are the very important ones. Okay, these are primary rules and fundamental rules, right? So far what did I say? To find the subject, verb, object, and rearranging them by using suitable places. But when it comes to its uses, okay, right, but when it comes to its uses, just we need to remember certain rules. So what are those certain rules? Even those certain rules already most of the rules were discussed in our previous classes. Just for your better understanding, I would like to sum up once again, as well as once again just I would like to go through. So rule number 1, look at this. If there is interrogative pronoun in the place of subject like which, what, who, so this which and what, who, we have to change them like by which, by what, and who has to be used as a whom. Right, did you understand this? Are you all getting my point? So that's what just I'll tell you. I thought of not to repeat it, but it's an inevitable one. Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. Right, let us see. Yes, okay. So that is what first rule. First rule here we have to think of, see this is the rule number 1. In this rule, if there is which, what, and who, when in the subject place, if there are interrogative pronouns in the place of subject, those has to be changed like this, by which, by what, and who has to be changed as a whom. Okay, right? This is one of the golden rules to make the passive sentences. And if we look at the second one, second rule, what is the second rule? See there. What is the second rule? See, if there is indefinite pronoun, yes, mostly today's class would go on these indefinite pronouns, right? Indefinite pronouns. What are indefinite pronouns, right? So these are the words. These are the words which are used not defining, by not defining something like anyone. Anyone means, here I used anyone as a pronoun to denote some people's name or someone, but I did not define anyone. So that such kind of pronouns we may call it as a indefinite pronouns. So what are indefinite pronouns? So indefinite pronouns, what are the singular indefinite pronouns, what are the plural indefinite pronouns, and what indefinite pronouns can be used both as a singular as well as plural. Right, today I would like to tell you all these things. Okay, right. So here, right. So here, look at the see, if there is indefinite pronoun in the place of subject. Now I am reading here this one. So this rule, like what are indefinite pronouns means, it was given, see, that someone, somebody, anyone, anybody, right? So first we have to understand these all, these all indefinite pronouns. So what are those indefinite pronouns? Let me show you table on one table. For your better understanding, just I prepared them like in the tabular form. So these are all right here. See what are the things that are being displayed on the screen. So these are all nothing but indefinite pronouns. So these all comes under the indefinite pronouns. So let us see one by one. Okay, at least that is what. So if you put a question at yourself, what did I learn by attending this class, right? You must get something, right? So that is what, to enable yourself to say whether what thing have you learned just today. At least let us focus on here. Okay. Yeah, okay, all right. See, let's see, right? See there. So here first we have to go with the singulars. So singular, another, 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 another. Okay, instead of it I would like to show you, just a moment, I'll show you something. Yeah, see, now you can look at, these are indefinite pronouns. Okay, Banu, try to understand this indefinite pronouns at least. So in this class, let's learn, okay, let's understand what are indefinite pronouns, right? What are indefinite pronouns? The indefinite pronouns, right? So out of indefinite pronouns, so let us see the first one, another, ANOTHER, right? Another is one of the indefinitive pronouns, right? So we finally move to another apartment, another apartment, another apartment. So in this sentence, right, in this way, so in this here, another, it's a indefinite pronoun, right? Can you that's what, as you are learning, so can you give one example by using another as an indefinite? Okay, I have seen another person, I have seen another person, right? Like the another, right? Anyone, let's see the second one, here, anyone. So anyone, right? I swear I won't tell anyone this secret. Do you know what is the meaning of swear? I swear, SWEAR, swear means nothing but promise, right? I promise right? I don't let him anybody know. I don't, or I won't tell anyone. I won't tell anyone, right? We can say like this. Right? Did you understand this? So here another, right, another and anyone. Right, next one, see the anything, anything. Right, another is indefinite pronoun, anyone also indefinite pronoun. Right, here why am I showing these examples? Okay, not only by knowing what are indefinite pronouns, but we can understand, okay, by going through it's an example. So it enables us to learn, it enables us to understand, it enables us, to use, by using that indefinite pronoun in the way of either in the way of speaking or writing part. So that is what I am trying to show you examples for every part. Right, each, EACH, each. So each and either one will be fine. See, either one will be fine means, right, it's here either is not a distributive pronoun. Okay, right, either can be used as a distributive pronoun as well as indefinite pronoun too. Okay, but here either is used as a indefinite pronoun, like enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough in the sentence. Everyone, let's see the everything. Less is more. Less is more. So here less also indefinite pronoun. And a little, a little, the little. Even we have discussed the earlier. Much has happened since we met. Much has got changed. Much has got changed since we met. We say that. And neither, no one, nothing, other, one, someone, something, like both, few, fewer, many, others, several, all, any, more, most, none, some, such. Right? These are all, these are all are indefinite pronouns. So here why do we have to discuss about indefinite pronouns? And you may ask me a question, sir, why do we need to learn about this? That is what, so here there is one of the rules of making passive sentences. In the place of subject, if you find indefinite pronouns, you need not to use them. Okay, at the end of the sentence. That is one rule. And what is another rule? Right, if you find negative indefinite pronoun in the place of subject, and its passive sentence must be in negative. So this is, there are two rules that are including with the interrogative pronouns. So that is what, as well as I would like to introduce you what are all interrogative pronouns. So that is the reason, right, once again just I made you learn by showing on the screen. Right, did you understand this? Okay, right, let's enter into the our topic part. Right, so these are all these are all indefinite pronouns. Under the indefinite pronouns, right, see, if you have good idea about the plural and plural indefinite pronouns, and both singular and plural, we can use some pronouns, right? Yeah. Okay, right, let's see. Yeah. Okay, see here both. So how many of you are able to use both as an indefinite pronoun? Both are not allowed. Both are not allowed. Okay, both Ramu and Raju, right, will be welcomed. So here both we used as a indefinite. Both are welcomed. So in this sentence both is used as a indefinite pronoun, right? Like a few, fewer, others, several. These all indefinite pronouns are generally used as a these are used as a plural indefinite pronouns. Just we have to think of, and we have to have a keen idea with regard to all these things. And the next part, see, at the end of this, in the third column, all, any, more, most, none, some, such. So these are contextual basis, based on the contextual. So in the context, okay, if it implies a singular, we have to use singular. If it implies plural, it is to be considered as a plural. So that depends on the context. So context in the sense the matter that we have, or the matter that is given to us, right? Did you understand this? So this is about the indefinite pronouns part, right? Did you understand this? And the next one, let's see once again, and the next we will see that if there are two objects, we can make either of the objects. In a sentence, if there are two objects, we can make two passive sentences by using both the objects. Right, next one, participle and gerund. If there are participles and gerunds in a sentence, in what way we have to make them, right? See there, I saw her crying at the gate. I saw her teasing. I saw her teasing her one of the friends. We have to say, so here you have to say she was seen her being teased her one of the best friends. Here the teasing has been changed as a being teased. Okay, and one more, next, by is not used with certain verbs. For the certain verbs we should not use by. So what are those certain verbs? Right at the on the right top and the right side there is a thing, see that most of the stative verbs, right? So how many of you know, I don't know, stative verbs? Do you know state of verbs? Does anyone know what are the stative verbs? Stative verbs, right? When I thought about the verb, I taught you people, right? Generally verb means it's a word that denotes, an action, but these actions are different. So some actions, to express or to do some action, so physical, we have to, physical involvement is required, and sometimes for some actions, for some actions mental activity is required. So an action that involves the mental ability, or so by using mind, if we do something, in that case we have to say those are stative verbs. Suppose best example is, so write is a physical activity, isn't it? Yeah, I will. Okay, so write is a physical activity, because by holding pen within the fingers and at the tip of our fingers, we have to apply some force to move our hand to scribble what we want on the paper. And but when it comes to remember, would you like to hit your brain, or would you like to kick your stomach, or would you like to squeeze your skin? No, because it's a mental activity. Just if you give a command to your mindset, the mind will try to say, what did you remember? So here remember is an action, but in this action, so here rather than physical activity, mental activity has been involved. So that is why rather remember, it's a verb. Though it is a verb, it has to be considered as a stative verb, right? Did you understand this? Right, see, as who is this Pawan fan? Someone asked, right? See, the stative verb means nothing but a verb, right? A word which denotes an action, but that is a mental action. Okay, that's a mental action. Okay, that's a mental action. Who is this Praveen Naidu? May I know who is this Praveen Naidu? Just tell. If I know, okay, I may ask a question to you. That is why. Okay, no problem. Even if you don't want to tell you also, no problem at all. Right, let us see. So did you understand stative verbs means? Right, can you give one example for the stative verb? Can anyone give some examples of stative verbs? Stative verb means, can anybody say some verbs which are stative? So for that I gave you remember, okay, and happy, pain. So you know that so mental activities, feel. So feel also one of the action, but it's a mental activity, so it's not a physical activity, right? An action, yeah, an action which is a mental activity, which express a mental activity. So such kind of actions, right, by we can express by using some words. Those words are nothing but, yeah, those words are nothing but stative verbs, right? Did you understand, everyone? Stative verbs, right? When we find, stative verbs, you know, in an active sentence, while making the sentence into passive, the verb should not be followed by, but instead of or in the place of by, we have to use suitable preposition. For this, just I'll give you small example to make you understand well, right? Let me give you one example, right? Let me give you one example, right? See that okay, right? See that she knew him. She knew him. Okay, okay, very good, Praveen. Yeah, nice to see you on the screen, man, Praveen. Very nice of you. Okay, right, in this sentence, look at the sentence, I knew him. So what is the correct passive sentence of this? How can you make passive sentence for the given sentence? I knew she knew him. So here in this sentence, she knew him, right? You have to understand one thing, right? Whatever it is, as I told in the earlier part, to make a sentence into passive. So already I have discussed, I have shown what are the rules that are supposed to be followed at the entrance of the video, I mean at the starting of this class. Because even if I want to show it, so it's not okay, it might be time consuming process. That's what I don't want to go you I mean once again to show you all, right? So right, once again, so do you have an idea? Can anyone answer what is the correct passive sentence? Can anyone make the passive sentence of the sentence she knew him? Right, in this sentence, right here, see that she is the subject, actually here KNEW, knew is the verb, as well as him is an object. So here our first rule is it is to be started with object. So here him, when it comes to subject place, so here objective pronoun becomes subjective pronoun. That is why him become he. Then next here, knew is the second form of the verb. Yes, that's what I'll tell you. See there, Sucharita, okay, you did well, but there is a mistake. Okay, to avoid that mistake only, I have focused over here. Okay, right, very good. Let me tell you. So here knew is the second form, right? So as it is second form, we have to use either was or were plus third form. So here knew has to be used as was known. Okay, and at the end of this video, I would like to show you, all the key concepts of this topic, right? He was known. Okay, right, we generally use by, but actually here we should not use by. I told, that is what I told, right? Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so by should not be followed certain verbs, I told, certain verbs. And those certain verbs, what are those certain verbs? Those certain verbs are nothing but stative verbs. That is why so far we have discussed about the stative verbs. After the stative verbs, we should not use by in the passive sentence, as know is the stative verb, right? So it should not be followed by. So therefore, instead of by, here already someone answered me with to, right? To her. He was known to her. He was known to her. This is the correct sentence. Okay, right, Sucharita, right? There is a bit mistake, a bit part has to be changed. That's it, no problem. Okay, right? Can I give you one more example? Can I give you? It's making me horrible, right? Okay, right? Can I give you one example? I'll give you. See there? Yeah. Okay. Very nice to see you. Where is Archana? She is not at all joining. You know that your friends are joining, and they have joined as well as they learn many things. But you people become lag. Okay. Just once call her at least. Yeah. That's what. Okay, right. Very nice of you. Very nice of you. Okay, right. I'll tell you. See there. Okay, right. I'll give you one more example. See, uh, right. She, they, right. See, they will remember. They will remember us. They will remember us. Okay, instead of will here, they shall remember. They shall remember us. Okay, right? Can anybody say here? Now here, see that again you have to question yourself, like here, remember. So it's a stative verb. In the stative verb, we should not use by. It's not like that. Stative verbs generally are not followed by in passive making. So that is what. So here as is the object, so it is to be used like here we, and shall remember. So shall is the auxiliary. Shall become shall be. remembered. Remembered. We shall be remembered, right, to them. We shall be remembered to them, right? We should remember for them, not. Okay, it's not. Shall should not be changed as a should. Shall has to be used as a shall, but as it is auxiliary, it has to be followed by using be. Okay, that's the rule. Okay, clear everyone? Okay, and this is one of the rules, right? We have to remember over here in the non-finite, right? So yes, if a sentence contains, yeah, no problem. If a sentence contains two verbs, there might be a finite and there might be a non-finite. Okay, here as I told here, you should not think all the times as Bahras are told in the sentence. If there is two verbs, definitely there would be either one is a finite and one another is a non-finite. No. Okay, sometimes in a sentence there might be two finite verbs when it comes to a compound sentence. Okay, but when it comes to the complex sentences and simple sentences, so these would be different, right? So here I use simple sentences, compound sentences and complex sentences. Compound sentence and complex sentences, right? So as I mentioned here, that's what you need to work out for this, right? So in the days to come, right, in the days to come, we are going to learn all those. What are simple sentences, what are compound sentences, what are complex sentences, right? So that is what here also we have to understand what are the direct infinitives. So how many of you have idea direct infinitive? Does anyone have idea regarding direct infinitive? Direct infinitive, I told here direct infinitive. So direct infinitive, does anyone have idea direct infinitive? Because I have discussed about this topic in our previous classes. So as we have discussed, just I would like to know how better have you understood the things. Okay, right. Direct infinitive means, right, certain verbs generally, it's followed, non-finite verb must be a direct infinitive. Direct infinitive means Even direct infinitive can also be called like a bare infinitive. Bare infinitive. Even this one also correct only. Okay, bare infinitive. Bare infinitive. Both bare infinitive and direct infinitive both are equal. Right? Very good. So for this you will understand well if I give example. Right? See there. Yeah, I'll give you one box. Yeah, I'll give you an example. See, she made crying. She made me crying. She made me, right? She made me cry. She made me cry. Okay, now tell me what is the correct passive sentence of this? She made me cry. Sucharita. Now you have to answer here. What is the correct sentence? Correct passive sentence. Can you make correct passive sentence of the sentence she made me cry? Right? In this sentence, so here made is the in this sentence here made is the main verb. Nothing but in simple ways here there are two verbs here, made and cry. So made is a finite verb and cry is a non-finite verb. Right, as I discussed all these things, what are finite, non-finite, indefinite pronouns, stative verbs, right, because of all these topics we have discussed in our previous classes, right. If you are willing to learn them, that right in your free time, try to click some another topics that we have discussed in the earlier, but all these videos are right available on this platform. So try to learn them, try to understand them, and try to improve your understanding levels. That is what I asked the question. Can anyone answer this question? Right, I'll tell you. So there are two verbs. One is finite and non-finite. So in the non-finite place, see only the bare infinitive is used. So that is only called direct infinitive. It is also called as direct infinitive. Okay. So in this sentence here me is the object, so therefore the sentence has to be started with I, and made is the second form, therefore I was made. I was made. I was made. Right, here instead of using here she, we can use cry, but here cry is a bare infinitive, but use like a to infinitive, like to cry. I was made to cry. Yeah, nice to see you, Anusha. Right? I was made to cry. Sucharita, did you understand? Sucharita, did you understand this? Right? Okay, did you all understand? See there. When, in the sentence, when in the given sentence, there are two verbs, and in the non-finite verb place, if there is a direct infinitive in its passive, it must be a to infinitive. That is what here as I used here to infinitive, direct infinitive. First you must know that first what is direct infinitive, what is to infinitive, right? So infinitive, first let me tell you, infinitive means nothing but the base form of the verb. Okay, base form of the verb, or and simple way, the first form of the verb. The first form of the verb we may say as a infinitive. But when that infinitive is used with to, like to write, if you think just write, it's a infinitive. But when it is used with to write, it became to infinitive. So here write itself is a direct infinitive, we can say, or bare infinitive, we can say. But when it was used along with to, then it became from bare infinitive or direct infinitive to infinitive, right? In active sentence, if there is a direct infinitive, in the passive it must be to infinitive. This is the rule, you must understand it, right? Clear? Okay, shall I give you one example or may I continue? Can I give you one example? Yeah, I'll try to give. This is the last example. Afterwards I don't want to give you more, right? See that. Right, so okay. Right, see, we will make, see, we will make toys right. See, we have made toys, sell, we have made toys sell, right. What is the correct passive sentence of this? In this sentence, that is what just you have to remember, right. In this sentence here, made is a, it's a finite verb. So certain verbs, certain verbs after, if there is a non-finite verb, the non-finite verb has to be used as a direct finite. So that is why instead of using to sell, here it was used like only sell. If you use to sell, that's a wrong sentence actually. Okay, what is the rule behind it? Means, so certain verbs, there are certain verbs, and after those certain verbs, it's a non-finite must be a direct infinitive. So it's a one of the grammatical rules for us. So therefore we should not use to before the cell, right. In this case, what do we have to do? Toys is the object and have made is the verb and we is the subject. So your toys have been made to sell, we have to say to sell. So again, we need not use about we, just we have to start the sentence with toys. Here have made was given, it has to be used like have been made to sell. Toys have been made to sell, that is the correct answer, right. So right, if you people answer those questions, okay, it will make you understand well, okay, right. Then next, so here there is another rule about the imperative sentences. Yeah, very nice to see you on the screen, right. Very nice of you, very nice of you, very nice of you. Okay, right, let's see here, imperative sentences. Do you know, how many of you know imperative sentences? Imperative sentence mean nothing but okay, when it comes to types of sentences, we have discussed. So what have we discussed? Imperative sentences, a sentence which starts with verb, a sentence which starts with verb, we may say that's a imperative sentence. But imperative sentence, see, the imperative sentence are used to express commands, orders, requests, suggestions. But when an imperative sentence is used in mean to a command or an order, so it is different, okay, right. It might be different. So here see that when we need to make a passive sentence, when an imperative sentence is used as a command or order, it is different, right. Further let me give you an example. Right, see that ask her. So what is the correct passive sentence of it? Do you know this? Right, ask her, ask, okay, sorry, right, ask her, right. So this is a passive sentence because here the sentence was started with verb ask. So what is the passive sentence of this? Here ask her, it's an order, either it's an order or a command. So as it is an order, right, in the passive sentence making, we learned, right, the sentence has to be started with let, and her is the object. So after anyway, so here when it comes to, that is what, try to understand here, try to understand here. Yeah, very good evening, Archana. Right, see, ask her, that is what we have discussing here, ask her. So this is the sentence. So now it is, as it is an imperative sentence, right, it is an imperative sentence. So in the imperative sentence there is no subject, so but that kind of sentence has to be started with let. So here object is her, here I used her, right, but there is a rule. See, when object is used in the place of subject, we have to use subjective pronoun, right. That's a rule we have. isn't it? But here, according to that rule, if there is a objective pronoun in the place of object, if there is a pronoun in the objective place, when it comes to subject, subjective pronoun has to be used. But here is the object, but when it comes to in the place of subject, but it is not being used in the subject, the place of subject, but it is being used after the let. Can we change into she or her? Here I used her. How many of you are, is there any mistake? Did anyone think that it's a mistake? So, right, if you, yes, just please let me know that. Okay, yeah, can we use, man, can we use here, Dhanush, as you have typed our she here, can we use she here? I'll tell you whether do we have to use as a she or do we have to use as her. I'll tell you, because here we should not use her as a she here, because here let after, see that generally in English language, let after we have to use only objective pronouns. So if we use she, yeah, if we use she, then she is a subjective pronoun. But according to this rule again, in the construction, it's a wrong one. So that is what here R was not changed as a she, just it was used as only her. Right? Did you understand this? Okay. So I'll tell you. Okay. Right. So here R was used, and then next we have to use ask. So here in the imperative sentence, if there is a first form of the verb, so it is to be used like a be plus V3. So this is the rule. Then ask become be asked. So this is the correct answer. Ask her. So for that, right or correct passive sentence is let her be asked. Let her be asked. Right? Did you understand this? But here see that when we get a imperative sentence as a command or a as an order. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Right. Let me play here. Let me play here. Okay. Tell me, can anyone say what is the passive sentence of this? Can anybody say what is the passive sentence of this? Let me play here. Let me play here. Right? So here first see that first we have to understand three things here. Here the sentence was started with let. But here when we get let, very next our brain has to give an alarm to our brain. That's an imperative sentence, first thing. Okay. Okay, and it is not a command, it is not a order. But what is this? So here by using let, the speaker asked a permission. Let me play here. Politely asked it. So in this case, in what we have to ask, here me is the, so it is to be used like I. So he asked a permission, right? As he asked the permission, it is to be like, see, I am allowed. We have to say I am allowed to play here. I am allowed to play here, right? So there might be a confusion, but to avoid it, more practice is required, as well as good exercise also, enough exercise also required. So at the end of this live session, I am going to provide you very excellent exercise part. So that's which I named as a warm up exercise part. Okay. The next okay. So these all things have to be discussed. Right, look at the screen. So in the passive sentence, in what way we have to make the verb into passive verb, right? See, in the active sentence, so these all things just you have to recall. First thing, see, In the active sentence, if there is first form of the verb, in the passive sentence it is to be changed like am is are plus V3. So I wrote notes, notes is written, it was changed like that. And in the active sentence, if there is don't or doesn't plus V1, don't or doesn't plus V1, in that case what do we have to do? It is to be used like see there, am int, isn't, or int plus third form of the verb. That is what I told. So at the end of our live session, just I would like to show all the key rules once again to remind all the complete grammar tasks. Okay, just to remind the complete grammar tasks that we have learned, and the things that we have remind our brain set, okay, whether it is right or wrong, to make ourselves perfect. Okay, are you all being with me? Right, in the see there, if there is second form, it is to be used. So here you have to see here, do we have to use had plus V3 or the same second form? Sometimes it may remain, the same form may remain. In the same case, if there is a had plus V3 in the passive, it may remain. Okay, and if there is a didn't plus first form of the verb, so it is to be changed like hadn't plus V3 or didn't plus V1. Right, when do we have to use the same one? When this is also one of the rules, I'll tell you. In plus V3, if there is am is are plus V4, it is to be used am is are plus being plus V3. That's what I am writing notes. Can you say I am writing notes? What is the passive sentence? I am writing notes. Okay, try to say this. Try to say I am writing notes. Okay, tell me what is the correct passive sentence? I am writing notes. Okay, right, can anyone give correct passive sentence for this? Notes is being written by me. Very nice of you, right? Because here see the fourth form of the verb, right, with am is are plus V4, am is are plus V4, it is to be used am is are plus being plus V3. Okay, like was or were plus V4, it is to be used like was or were plus being plus V3. Okay, so these all rules, right? How many of you have idea about this? Kalyani, too late Kalyani today. That is what, if you people don't come, definitely you will miss some topics, some rules, definitely you people will miss, right? Yeah. Right, let us see. Okay, then next, was or were plus V4 has to be used as a, was or were plus V4 has to be used as a was or were plus being plus V3. Right. See, at the end we'll have a live show. At the end I'll test your knowledge, how better you have learned. Right? Are you all with me or not? Please put comment yes if you are active one. Right, this is, you have to understand, this part is very important part of the English part. See there. Here will have, oh my god, I left I think auxiliaries, like will have, yeah, very nice to see you. Right, make it. Keep yes as a comment, as a symbolize that you are listening, as well as that you are ready to answer all the questions that which I am going to ask at the end of this live session. Are you all ready? Right, show your willingness by putting yes as a comment. Right, okay, will have plus V3, I will have seen him. So will have, shall have, can have, could have. So this has to be used like will have been, shall have been, could have been, might have been, would have been, like this. Okay, right, I'll give you one example. Over here. Try to say, right, see the it will have been, right, see the, right, you could have asked me, you could have You could have asked me. Tell me, what is the passive sentence of this? You could have asked me, write well. Yes. Okay. You could have asked me, write well. Yeah. You could have asked me, write well. Now, what is the correct passive sentence of this? Try to answer. Everyone must answer. Okay. Try to answer it. Right. See that in this sentence, I'll give you clues to you. Right. In this sentence, here see that. Here you is the subject, me is the object, and write, it's a non-finite verb, and could have asked is the main verb. So this is verb, this is subject, this is object, this is non-finite verb. Okay, clear? Okay, now by going through all the details which I have given to you all, yeah, tell me, try to say what is the correct answer. Okay, so in answering this, so it is to be started with me. So me, when it comes to subject plus, it will become like I. So here next, could have is an auxiliary, right? So in the earlier part I told could have, right? Could have has to be used like could have been. So I could have been. So you people have to use like this. I could have been asked to write, because it's a direct infinitive, but in the passive it must be a to infinitive. So therefore its answer will be like this. I could have asked. I could have, see that, I could have been asked to write well. I could have been asked to write well. Okay, right? Did you understand this? Right? How many of you understood this rule? Clearly tell me. How many of you understood really the point which I told on this? Really, did you understand this? Okay, so here could have, should have, would have. So this kind of, when we get this kind of questions, so these are to be used like this. See that could have has to be used like have been, could have been, would have been, should have been, shall have been, right? I could have been asked to write. Yeah, very nice. Well, by you, we need not use by you. Okay, that's not required. Okay, though you used, it's not a problem, but actually we need not to mention, because we are not we are not that much interest at the doer of the subject, doer of the sentence. So that is why we can skip by you. Okay, right? Did you understand this? Yeah, let me tell you one more point. Yes, and the next one, see that these are auxiliaries, right? These are all auxiliaries. See that will has to be used like a will be, shall be, can be, may be, must be, should be, could be, would be, used to be, have to be, has to be, had to be. So here, right. So after the auxiliary, generally there is a first form of the verb. Generally there is a first form of the verb, but in the passive it is to be used be plus third form of the verb. Just you have to remember this, right? You have to fix your brain set in your brain set. You have to fix it in your brain set. So as a result, it enables you do something accurately, appropriately, right? Okay, even it doesn't let you make you mistake for the upcoming parts, right? Did you understand this? So these are all the verbal changes. And those are all rules that we have discussed. So these are all things, right? So far we have discussed all the rules as well as the structures too. Okay, now I'll give you some more examples. Look at the sentence. I made him write a letter. I made him write a letter. What is the correct answer? Yeah, regarding regarding could have, right? I'll give you. Regarding could have, I'll ask, could have, should have, would have, might have. Okay, these all things I'll give you. Then what is the correct answer for this? Tell me. I made him write a letter. I made him write a letter. So I made him write a letter in this sentence. Made is the finite verb, write is a non-finite verb. So your object is he, so that he was made to write a letter. That's it. We need not use by me. Okay. And she bade me leave the room. Right. I was bade to leave the room. I was bade to leave the room. I saw him go. He was seen to go. He was seen to go. We have to say like this. And yeah, in this sentence, see that obey your teacher. Obey your teacher. In this sentence, obey your teacher. So obey your teacher, the sentence was started with obey. It's a verb. So as it is a verb, right, as it is a verb, right, the sentence answer has to be started with let. Okay, let your teacher be obeyed. So you are obliged to obey, even in this way also, because it's a suggestion. Obey your teacher is not a command. Obey your teacher is not an order. Obey your teacher is a suggestion. So that is why you are suggested to obey your teacher. We can say like that. You are obliged to obey your teacher also, we can write it. Yeah, that's what. Okay, right. Do not go out. Do not go out. Even this is also it's not, if we think well, that is what, whether it is a suggestion or order. Okay, how can we come to know that? If we go through the passages, right, if we go through the context, okay, we'll understand it, whether it is an, okay, has it been used in the sense of either an order or a request. That is what. So first we have to be very clear. We have to decide whether has it been used in the command manner or request manner. Okay, whether it is used as a orderly one or a suggestion one. Okay, so that depends on the, okay, while making its passive sentence, so it plays a vital role. Even it only decides the correct answer, right? Instead of answering a suggestion, if we answer it as in the command, okay, there might be a wrong. Okay, there might be a wrong. Okay, we may get a mistake, right? Okay, yeah, very nice of you. Okay, right, tell me. So this, now these 6 examples, try to, people have to answer. First one, see, what are you listening to? This is participle and gerund part. This is the participle and gerund part. Now you have to answer all these questions. So after completion of answering these all 6 questions, I would like to wind up today's class. Okay, right? So that is what active participation is important. Active, be active. Try to answer. What are you listening to? So in this sentence, what are you listening to? So your answer is, what are you being listened to? What are you being listened to? So your listening has to be changed like being listened. Okay, they were searching for the last book. Okay, the last book was being searched. The last book was being searched for. So right, we have to answer this question like this. Yeah, very nice to get the feedback from Anusha. Very nice of you, Anusha. Okay, right, you people are becoming gradually active. You people are gradually becoming active. సో మీరు ఇప్పుడిప్పుడే చక్కగా నేర్చుకుంటా ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నారు. చూడండి, మన ఇదే ప్రయత్నం మనం ఎప్పుడో చేస్తుంటే ఇంకా నేర్చుకునేవాళ్ళం. అట్లీస్ట్ ఇప్పుడైనా సరే మనం స్టార్ట్ చేసాం. దాన్ని మానకుండా ప్రతిరోజు ఇలా విషయాలు నేర్చుకుంటూ ఉంటే, ఓకే, ఇట్స్ మార్క్స్ అని అదని ఇదని మ్యాటర్ కాదు యాక్చువల్గా. ఇట్ ఎలివేట్స్ యూ. it makes you confident, first thing. Okay, the more you learn, the more you are confident, right? But okay, try to say the correct second one. Second, they were searching for the last book. Okay, already I have completed. The government cannot dispense with computers. So computers cannot be dispensed with. I have never heard of such an accident. I have never heard. I have never heard. That's what. So these examples can be answered in a different way. That is what, when when do we have to answer this kind of questions in the competitive examinations, or in the entrance examinations. These questions are the tricky questions. So there itself we will be fallen. So there we will be lag. There we may lose our marks to to make you perfect. Okay, till today you did not come across such kind of hard and difficult situations that you are supposed to answer this kind of questions. But if you come across what you are supposed to do, you must learn now itself. So that is what, right, you are being subjected to do this kind of hard examples. Right, did you understand this? So this kind of hard work is required to us. And one more thing I would like to tell you, right, how many of you are coming back and referring these videos, I don't know, but try to refer them in your free time instead of spending your time for unnecessary and waste things. If you really spend the time for the things, and that whether you are, that's see, I'll tell you, for Anusha, Satya, for you people, Banu, for you people, I'll tell you one thing, right? See, whether you are able to understand or not, that is second, leave it. But if you are habituated to listen classes in English, right? If you are able to, listen classes in English to English, it will make you understand well. And not only understand, at the same time, it will make you how to, even to express things in English language, isn't it? So right, I have seen such a change, especially in the Anusha, from the Anusha side, right? I have seen such a change, right? Keep on doing like that, and try to do, try to listen things in this way. Though therefore, definitely we can learn things well. And this one's either okay, right? Book on animals, right? Can you answer? This is last but not least. This is the last but not least example in this sentence. Here, see that was to write is a verb. Was to write is a verb, but here was to is an auxiliary. So regarding auxiliary, we have idea. What is that? Auxiliary plus be plus past participle form. So a book was to be written on animals. A book was to be written on animals. We have to say answer like this. And this is the last example. See, Saurya has to distribute sweets. Here also see that has to is a auxiliary. Okay, now so sweets is the object. So sweets, we have to say sweets. Sweets have to be. It's not has to be, it's have to be. Because sweets is the plural. So that is why we have to use have to be, right? Sweets have to be distributed by Saurya, right? Did you understand this? So in this way we can answer questions, different questions. Okay, right. So it will boost our confidence if we do, if we keep on doing such kind of practices. It will make us confident, to face different kinds of examples when it comes to, English. I mean, testing our skills. Okay, right. I hope you people enjoyed this class. Okay, I'll be back with another live session. So thank you all. Wishing you happy learning. Signing off, Mr. Behra.